Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the Elder and the Eternal subclass in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a mod that was made by Orhin in 1985. Here's just a sneak peek of some of the amazing spells that you do get alongside this. Mostly necrotic damage focus, as you can see here, with the best friend from beyond the grave. Now, I'll be taking you through the full build from levels 1 through 12 and all the way up to 20 as well for two different builds depending on where you want to play with this. Now, we do get a choice of cantrips here, and I'd recommend actually grabbing Toll the Dead here just for the thematic purpose of that, and also, I guess Bone Chill would probably be the better choice there. Stop target from receiving healing. I like to have Mage Hand there for being able to throw healing potions or water bottles to set up your other teammates. We also got Eldritch Blast, great spell. And you can throw on Friends if you are the face of the party. Otherwise, you could go with something like Produce Flame to get the light, or Firebolt just for the extra fire damage. Now, we also want to take for spells, I'd recommend grabbing, we already have a version of Hex, Shield, Magic Missile, as well as Sanctuary, Find Familiar for the Raven to blind enemies, Long Strider to buff up our teammates, and Command because it's a great spell. Now with our subclass, the Eternal here, we get ourselves the Elder's Arms of Hadar, Elder's Hex, which does the necrotic damage per turn, and or per attack. We also got Elder's Inflict Wounds and Elder's False Life. And for our ability scores, I'd recommend grabbing 16 Dexterity and Wisdom and 14 Constitution, and skill proficiencies in Persuasion, alongside Acrobatics and the Perception checks there. Now, once we hit level 2, we get our Ancestral Power Source, which you can use Elder Power to roll maximum damage, and we can also trigger devastating effects using the Elder Power. We also get a choice of meta magics here, which is pretty great. I'd recommend grabbing Thunder Wave here for the pushback that it brings, and Armor of Agathis, and going with Distant Spell. Sometimes you're not able to hit a target, that helps, and Extended Spell, which will actually... No, we'll go Twin Spell, but Extended Spell will proc our gear twice sometimes. It's actually a really powerful, underrated option. Now level 3, and actually you can use it on a command for a 2-turn command, which is probably the best choice here. But Elder Stance, this will give you the choice between a pure spellcaster or a war mage, very strong. I'd recommend mostly the caster version of that, but we get some new spells here. I'd recommend Hold Person and Scorching Ray, best damage options. Quicken Spell, which makes us very damaging. And if you want to wear armor, we can go with the defense fighting style. There are other options, just defense typically ends up being the best choice. And I'd recommend preparing the following spells here. We do get a lot of spells, as something to keep in mind, so just be mindful of that. Level 4 gives us a few more choices in spells. I'd recommend grabbing Misty Step and Spiritual Weapon. For our Elder boost, Sculpt Spells is amazing so you don't hit our teammates, and the second bonus action, because this means that we can use our Meta Magic Quicken Spell and get 2 extra spells per turn. Kind of crazy. Level 4 gives us our first feat. I'd recommend Alert or an ability score improvement on your Wisdom. Alert is really good in this game. Once we hit level 5, we get ourselves Necrotic Guardians doing a 3d8 of necrotic damage, and we also get the Elder Speak of the Dead, which is nice green color on there. I like the thematics of it. And for our next spell, I guess we can throw in Ray of Frost. And for these spells we'll grab here, Counterspell, amazing. I'd also recommend Lightning Bolt. Sometimes it's great to hit targets with that where you normally can't hit anyone else. And we're going to grab Double Cast here for Elder Magical Infusement. And just make sure that you do have the Counterspell spell in prepared, because that's such a good spell. in prepared, geez. Level 6 gives us the Deadly Ally subclass feature here with once per turn for the cost of 1 Elder Power, you can try to turn an undead creature against his allies. If it succeeds, survives the fight, it remains your ally until it dies or until you take control of another undead. So kind of like the Oathbreaker, this is really nice because being able to take over a target is great because it's just going to mean your team takes less hits. We'll also throw on the Fireball, and we already have Spirit Guardians, but you can grab Radiant Spirit Guardians if you wanted to. Inflict, we'll go with Haste actually instead, just because we already got ourselves Spirit Guardians, but I will admit the Radiant damage is probably better. Because the big thing about Spirit Guardians is the fact that you can apply Radiating Orbs extremely easily using it, but I digress. If you want to stick thematically, necrotic damage would be the proper way. We also get Elder's Blight and Fear of the Dead. Targets will drop everything and become fearful. This is a level 4 version of the spell, and that's all really the difference is. But we get some more spells. I'd recommend Ice Storm for the slipping and falling 2-turn duration of a difficult terrain, as well as Conjure Minor Elementals. We'll also throw on, at this point, I like Fast Attack, which lets you do a melee attack back at a target, and Magic Resilience to get advantage on saving throws against spells and other effects. Advantage on saving throws against spells is pretty crazy. Level 8 gives us our subclass feature, Soul Reaper. Once per turn, if you kill a creature with a spell, you regain hit points equal to twice the spell level used, and thrice if it's a necromancy spell. Yeah, we are about to get some pretty crazy sustain here. That's from the Necromancer Wizard. It is really good. We'll then throw on, I guess, Everett's Black Tentacles and Wall of Fire for our spells that we're not going to prepare because we got so many other great options and subclass specific ones. Our level 8 feat will be a wisdom based improvement, or you could go with a Warcaster if you do prefer that. Now, once that we get to level 9, we get our Army of the Dead. This is like Danse Macabre, summoning in 4 ghouls to fight alongside you, and Elder Circle of Death. This is a level 5 version, which is a little different because it does an 8d8 of damage. So huge area of effect though, it's kind of strong. The best part, some people say this is a terrible spell. We have Sculpt spells, so we don't hit our teammates. It actually becomes kind of crazy. I guess it doesn't really apply to that spell, but we do get our health back from it. Now, we get a couple spells here, like Conjure Elemental and Cone of Cold. Hold Monster can be another solid option. If you like the Radiant Orb builds, Flame Strike gives you another option to do that with. Now for our spells, I'm going to grab Extended Spell because again, it can proc a lot of our gear multiple times. It's kind of crazy. I did a tier list breaking down the best meta magics in Baldur's Gate 3 and it's kind of interesting. But once we get to our next cantrip here, I'd recommend grabbing Produce Flame. And also for the Elder powers, we're going to grab Hold Monster this time and Destructive Wave. I almost forgot about that one. Craziest level 5 spell in the game. Almost a little bit too powerful, but I mean, this class is all about the power fantasy, so it's quite strong. Now, if you want, you can use the elemental and use the water one. Its main punch will set up a vulnerability to cold damage. Then our Cone of Cold can do 128 damage potentially. Level 11 here gives us our Thrifty Sorcerer, lets us use Elder Power instead of spell slots, and we get Elder's Harm. This spell kind of sucks, I'm going to be honest. Harm just reduces their hit point maximum. So if let's say you hit them raw for 80 damage and then you use this and you roll 80, it won't do anything other than lower the health. It doesn't take damage away if you've already damaged them. So just a heads up on that. We also get the Scythe of Death here. This does a 10d6 of necrotic, hitting all targets in front of you and pushing them back 5 meters. This is a pretty cool spell. Now, we also get some other choices. I'd recommend grabbing Chain Lightning and Globe of Invulnerability. I like Odaluk's Freezing Sphere as well, but it's your choice. We also can do close range spell attacks, make sure we don't miss at close range, and Elder Vision or Second Reaction are good choices. Second Reaction lets us do 2 counter spells per turn, which is amazing. And level 12 gives a subclass feature, Walking Graveyard. When you hit a target with necrotic damage, you inflict her crawling gnaw for 2 turns. If the target dies within a weapon attack, it gives birth to a newborn zombie. And we also get to take some more spells, with Odaluk's Freezing Sphere being a top choice, and Create Undead for the thematic purpose. We'll also then go with an ability score improvement and max out our Wisdom, Warcaster being the other feat, or a Constitution based increase. So that was it for level 12. However, we're going to go all the way to level 20 here and show you that. We get Butchering here at level 13, which gives a 10d8 of necrotic, similar to Dethrone, but a little stronger. We also then can take some more spells. They end up getting shuffled sometimes. I guess Grasping Vine's actually kind of underrated. It's now a bonus action, and also Conjure Woodland Being. Those are 2 underrated spells. The Druid actually has a solid list of spells. Level 14 will give us 2 more spells. I'm just going to randomly pick because we don't have anything that we need at this point. Brutal Elder gives us increased critical hit chance, which is really nice. You could also go with Wise Spells. When you cast a spell, add in the form of psychic damage as your Wisdom modifier. Wise Spells ends up being a solid choice. Now, once we get to level 15, we get our Hidden Power, which lets us do additional damage, necrotic damage attacks, and we also get Spectral Form, which takes the form of a destructive specter, resistant to most damage and immune to some. We also then can take another cantrip. We'll go Shocking Grasp, and we'll continue on with whatever spells you select because they don't matter at this point. We already got everything that we need. Level 16, it gives us another choice in spells and our next feat, which you could go with a lucky feat to get a bit of extra luck on your ability checks and saving throws. I also like to go with the tough feat for an extra 2 health per level. It's 40 extra health total. Very good. Health is a resource, so use it. We also got Beneficial Death, so if we end up killing a target once per long rest, we can use 1 Elder Power to get back 8 sorcery points. And we also get Call the Skeleton Terror, which conjures an undead skeleton dragon, which will fight alongside you till long rest. Pretty crazy. I guess I haven't grabbed Planar Ally. It's the other spell that'd be worth taking for the Genie or even the Deva. Now for this next level, we get ourselves 1 more Elder boost. And we'll grab Spell Infusion for that Elder boost there. With 2 more levels to go, level 19 normally gives us a feat, but it actually will give us that level 20. That's how the class progressions work. I'd actually recommend grabbing Knock. That's such a useful spell to combat. Now, we get 1 more option for our spells here, and this is from the other schools of magic. It's kind of cool. You can grab the Elder Shadow Blade if you wanted to, or the Elder's Chain Lightning. I like Elder's Mind Blast, or the Mind Blast version here from their other subclass that is just so good. It hits really hard, so I'd recommend grabbing it. And we'll prepare the following spells. And for the final level, you could go with increase the Constitution or your Dexterity score. I like the Lucky feat just to protect ourselves a little bit in combat, and also things like the Warcaster are great too. Now, I've covered gear in the past for a few different Elder videos. I've done multiple builds on them. I'm short on time today, and there's nothing this build actually needs. The Elder is going to basically one-round combat, so you don't really need to take anything here if you don't want to, but you can watch my other Elder videos if you want to see proper what to take. We also got our Spectral form here, which is really nice, because when we go into that, we become a Spectre, which will give us this special polymorph ability, which comes with Seize Soul, the Devour Soul, and the Reap Soul abilities here. So these are kind of nice because you can actually hit extremely hard with them. They cannot be allies, so I can't currently use them. You also get this cool icon for dismissing your Spectral form if you want to go back and turn it back into a human. I think that's pretty fun. And we also got the life transfer spell here. So this will strike the enemy with a powerful necrotic blast, healing yourself an amount equal to the damage dealt. If the target dies, you summon the ancestral warrior until your next long rest. Pretty crazy. Now for combat, I'd actually recommend if you can get that life transfer off. This will heal us, and I actually end up taking damage. I only have 208 there. So we're going to try and take out this target here while using this, and it does a lot of damage. And then whenever you take out the target there, you get a newborn zombie here, and it says if the target dies, you summon the ancestral warrior until your next long rest. I don't think that this basic zombie is the ancestral warrior proper, but that might be an interaction that's caused some issues here. But we have our hidden power Eternal here as well that we can activate, and you can use even close range magic if you wanted to. Even the deadly ally here, which is really nice, so that you can use this to overcome and turn over an undead here. So turn the undead is something that you unfortunately need to have undead around, so it's only going to be applicable in certain areas of the game. Scythe of Death, though, has a huge area of effect. That's what I was talking about. Pretty useful because we can blast away doing an attack roll here. Lucky can turn that miss into a hit. We exploded everybody in that, and we created some zombies, so that was good. We also create a bunch of, we summon in a bunch of extra enemies there because they don't like when we do that. Oh, and there's more coming. So we are going to use our Quicken spell and use the Elder Circle of Death. We are sustaining ourselves pretty good here. This is going to do a huge explosion, and that ends up taking out a bunch of targets there, and whoa, we got a lot of zombies. So that's interesting. I'm just going to end my turn there and let them deal. Oh wow, they actually just took out a ton of our zombies all at once there. That was pretty crazy. The zombies are nice because they have a low armor class. They'll draw a lot of attacks. And here again is why we like that Lucky, because this keeps us from using shield. It didn't work great, but it allows us to use our 2 reactions on something like 2 counter spells to really mess up enemies. But you can see there, our zombies are just there kind of to absorb hits for our team. And here's an idea, like you could use like counterspell at one of these moments here. And if you even have Sonic Backlash, this lets you, oh, we took out that target. And here's the zombies going in for an attack. We don't have to control them. They're going to go in and give the crawling gnaw here, which will summon another zombie if they end up getting them taken out. Yeah, they get taken out really quickly, but sometimes they get crits for 14 damage. Not bad. But we have a lot of these zombies in combat, so that's something to keep in mind. They'll take damage over time. Now, we also could have set up our Spirit Guardians at the start there. We can also heal ourselves by drawing from a target if we want to. Best friend from beyond the grave. I guess I should have summoned that in earlier. There's a dog. So you can summon in these spectral, special skeleton dog here, best friend from beyond the grave. That took up our full action. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'm going to go ahead here with one of our other options for damage. Most of these are summons. We only really got the Scythe of Death in our other choice there. Scythe of Death's pretty cool though. I'm going to go ahead with that. I love how it just rips in through them. And there's 2 targets right here, so I'm going to go and repeat the same thing here, and our zombies don't actually get hit by that. So that'd be the best way to go about doing that. We also have the Skeletal Terror here, which is our big zombie dragon. So we can summon in the zombie dragon here. It is pretty strong to have a 120 hit point dragon that's got the Terror Eye Beam doing a 12d8 and frightening targets, the Terror Cleave doing a 9d8, and then a huge area of effect attack. So that could be pretty strong. It's kind of similar to our Scythe attack. And then we have Terror Blast, which has triple projectiles, so you can shoot out multiple of these and explode in a huge area of effect, and also bone chill targets. So yeah, this is pretty insane. 2-turn bone chill. The dragon's cool though. I love summoning different things in here, and it can kind of move around a little bit. Although the dragons do miss their animations, it's something to keep in mind. You can also summon in the Army of the Dead. So yeah, you're getting a lot of summons with this class. Great if you like zombies, dragons, you name it. This is a fun one. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next video.